Coming up on today's show, the PS5 and Xbox Series X unboxings are live. CD Projekt Red delays Cyberpunk 2077 yet again. And we've got hands-on impressions of Watch Dogs Legion. What's good, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff every Friday. I'm Andrea Renee, joined by Miss Brittany Brombacher.
Hello.
And Miss Christine Steimer.
Hello.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Love it.
Whether it's your first episode or your 202nd episode, we're glad that you are here to chat with us about some video games. And by chat with us, I mean leave us comments at youtube.com/whatsgoodgames or tweet to us at whatsgood_games. Maybe you visited our YouTube channel and saw Brittany's hilarious unboxing of the Xbox Series X or my unboxing of the PS5 where I threw lots of pieces of cardboard.
That cracked me up. You were just like, manual, fuck it. Oh, cardboard, fuck it. Just throwing everything.
Somebody came after me in the comments about disregarding all of the paperwork that came with each of the things in that unboxing video. And I was like, listen, did you really want me to go over the documentation for how to plug the DualSense charging station in?
People just get really precious with like, oh, you were given a thing, therefore you must fucking honor every bit of garbage that they put in the box. And you're like, look. We don't need to talk about the manual. You can read the manual on your own.
Manual's
you get your
feelings,
own PlayStation later this month or next month.
There you go. The manual's feelings won't be hurt. I promise. It's
Manual
gonna be
has
fine.
no feelings.
It's just paper.
Exactly. And I made sure to keep them all. I didn't throw them away. I just didn't go through them on camera.
We just tossed them aside for dramatic effect. It's okay.
Exactly. For drama, as Steimer said. We do have some news to get to today, including some news on the new consoles and the imminent console launch. But I want to make sure to give a big shout out and thank you to October's Patreon producers, Chewy's Godson, Califorunicated, Justin Foshee, Punkdefied, Faris Attieh, Mohammed Mohammed, Marcus Brown, Alex Rigopulos, and David Iacolucci. Thank you for supporting our little show here. And welcome to our Patreon community. Renata Sucha, Charles Van Eck, Antoinette Sliven, Claire Hagarty, CW Slate, Sean Little, and Jairo Morales. And don't forget, not only can you be part of the show by submitting your questions every week at patreon.com/whatsgoodgames. We have lots of fun membership perks like hand-drawn postcards, which are going out late for the month of October because I haven't made them yet. Please forgive me. It's been busy. I'm sorry, everybody. They're going to be like a week or so late, maybe 2 weeks late. That's my bad. That's my bad.
The postcard should just say oops on it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Just a giant oops. And also, we have an ad-free version of the podcast. But today, we have no sponsors, so the whole thing is ad-free. Welcome, everybody. Or should I say you're welcome? You're welcome?
Everybody's welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Everyone's welcome.
You are welcome, and you're welcome. That Steimer gif is live now on the internet, by the way.
So good.
I'm doing this for you. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So good.
All right, Brittany. It looks like we have some fun new podcast reviewers as well.
We do. We have C. Lambo, Takibi KB, Winterhold King 69. Nice.
Ooh.
And Dams Tzch. I don't know how you pronounce TZH by itself, but there. Dams Tzch. Anyway, thank you all so much. I know we say it every week. It really helps us out. And it's really a nice little ego booster, to go read those little reviews. And it makes us feel all warm and fuzzy. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's
Das
nice.
Boost.
Yeah. Das
It's
Boost.
nice. All right, without further ado, let's get into the news. And the first one is all about Cyberpunk 2077, one of the most anticipated games coming to next-gen consoles and current-gen consoles this fall, has yet again been delayed. And this one, I think, was really shocking to a lot of people, especially considering that CD Projekt Red had already started rolling out their commercial campaign and their social media team very cheekily said there wouldn't be any more delays, but apparently the studio found out the same time we did, with rumors alleging that they got an email the moment the announcement went live online, which is kind of bonkers to think about. So, Britt, would you please do me the honor and read this story for me?
Absolutely. So this comes from Games Radar. Cyberpunk 2077 was delayed to December 10th to improve its performance on PS4 and Xbox One, according to reports from CD Projekt Red's latest financial conference call. Polish news site Pap Business attended the call. Sorry, I said it so dramatic. Thanks. Attended the call, which was hosted by CD Projekt CEO Adam Kaczynski and other members of the company's executive leadership. According to its write-up, the executives explained that, quote, this situation is different compared to Cyberpunk 2077's previous delays. While the game plays well on PC and next-gen consoles, the company needs more time to make sure Cyberpunk 2077 is also satisfactory on current-gen systems. The official delay announcement from yesterday lines up with this message, citing the difficulty of testing the game across 9 versions and 2 console generations. Quote, since Cyberpunk 2077 evolved towards almost being a next-gen title somewhere along the way, we need to make sure everything works well and every version runs smoothly. Kaczynski said in the call, quote, we are firm on delivering the new release date of December 10th, and that releasing on November 19th would have been possible and still is. But this way the game will hopefully make a better early impression, which will make a big impact in the long run. Quote, the decision was not easy, but we know there's just one release, and the first impression is crucial. Kaczynski added that CD Projekt Red plans to implement some organizational changes to its technical departments in response to the delay, as, quote, too many things were put together at late stages. Oh, man. Game development is hard.
Yeah,
9
especially like
9
they
versions.
mentioned going across console generations for sure.
It's such a bummer that this happened. And one of the things that I had tweeted about when this announcement went live was that I anticipated, like I'm sure a lot of people did, that Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be the big contender at the Game Awards against The Last of Us Part 2, and now they've pretty much opened the way for TLU 2 to go in and sweep a bunch of categories. Not to say that TLU 2 wasn't going to anyway. Clearly, Naughty Dog is a critical darling whenever they release anything because they make great games. But I think a lot of us were really looking forward to seeing the face-off between these two behemoth titles this year, and obviously looking forward to playing them this fall. But I think I also was happily breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm right there with you because it just gives you so much more time. And I kind of did want to take my winter break anyway to just like bunker down with Cyberpunk. So this way I kind of get to clear off a few of the other review games and then selfishly just be able to go into Cyberpunk and stay there for quite a while.
Yeah, that's a good point because, this will come out right around, winter break for what's good and all of people across the globe. Well, at least those of you who care about Christmas. Anywho, it'll be a nice little holiday game because you're not doing anything anyway during that time. Might as well just play Cyberpunk. That's awesome. That's a good point. But no, I'm also relieved because there's a lot happening. There's a lot.
I do feel really bad for the dev teams, though, especially those who really tried hard to make the other date happen because they kept getting pushed, right? This is like the 3rd or 4th time we've seen this game bump dates. And for it to really just be because of the older versions has got to sting a little bit. And also, I think somebody else mentioned this on Twitter. I think it was another game dev I follow. Like the financial impact of like not hitting Black Friday and not hitting a lot of those deals anymore is really like that hurts. So like this is not a decision, as they said, that you would be making lightly to miss a lot of those
right.
dates.
I kind of wonder what would have happened if instead of delaying the launch, they had said, hey, we are having some problems with our development. We're going to release as is because we're gold, we're certified. So clearly they got waivers from Xbox and PlayStation knowing that there were bugs. Like a lot of games do. A lot of games have day one patches, so they go through certification anyway.
Yep.
But said, hey, we're going to release, and it's going to be, good on next gen. It's going to be great on PC. And the current gen, you're going to have a couple bumps in the road until we can get this patch out that's going to take us another week or two. And wondering, would the result have been the same with people being supportive and upset? Because we saw, a lot of people online being very supportive of CD Projekt Red, but then multiple members of the studio publicly acknowledging death threats of violence, really nasty stuff being said to the developers working on this game because they delayed it, which again is absolutely appalling and disgusting and uncalled for and unacceptable. And I feel nothing but, sympathy for those dev teams that have been busting their ass for months and years at this point to get the game out. And the heartbreaking decision they must have made to announce this delay, thinking that they did it, lightly, is just asinine.
Yeah. I don't know about, like, I do know that CDP in general really tries to keep players in mind. So, like, even if you mention the whole patch thing and all that stuff, oh, it's coming later, it won't work very well at the front, you have to remember, like, that's not your whole audience that's even going to be able to see that message. So I do applaud them for being like, look, we really can't rely on a patch that's going to come even a few weeks after launch. I do think it'd be interesting if they had tried to launch on next gen first and then said the Xbox, the older generation, will come later. So just kept their release date for the new things, let the new shiny toy people get their game first, and then been like, sorry, like, we are working really hard on the older versions. Okay, thanks, bye.
I honestly don't think that would have necessarily been a bad call, because they could have kept the PC and next gen launch, on November 19th. They could have kept them in contention for a lot of awards. It would have made it, a lot easier for gaming media creators and traditional journalism outlets alike to be able to do coverage. Having the game be delayed in this manner, giving people far fewer days before holiday breaks to be able to do coverage, is going to be tough for them as well. And it makes the team have to work now over the holidays, making sure everything is up and running and working smoothly, because they don't have that buffer 3 to 4 weeks before they can fully take a break, at the end of the year. Not that they probably would have anyway, but maybe they wouldn't have been as crunched over the holidays as they're going to have to be now.
We have a question from patron Andy T. Do you feel with all of the delays of Cyberpunk, they're setting an expectation now for the game that will be impossible to meet, regardless of how great the game may be? I feel like this is a double-edged sword in one sense, because I feel like the more delays a game receives, like, the less your faith kind of remains with it in some regards. Yeah. But in another sense, like, when it comes, I was thinking about this today. When was the last game you ladies can remember that had so much fucking hype behind it and had such high expectations, other than Cyberpunk?
Red Dead Redemption 2, probably.
That's a fair one. Yeah.
Definitely that one. Although that one was a little steadier in terms of development.
Yeah, I mean, TLU 2, I think, is up there, but because TLU is exclusive, it wasn't as broad of a reach as Red Dead Redemption 2 had. But I think when you think of big, massive, beautiful, polished games that, people are excited about, I automatically think of Rockstar. So.
Yeah.
No, yeah. That's fair. And this is a new IP, obviously. Well, not new, brand new, if you're going to count, like, the history of the tabletop and whatnot.
Of course. Right.
Whereas, like, with TLU and, like, Red Dead, like, okay, you built, like, that really amazing first one. Now how's the second one going to hold up? This is a brand new thing. But, I mean, I don't think... What do you ladies think? Do you think the delay is resetting expectations? Or, like, how do you think people are receiving it overall?
I think overall, what I've seen is the vast majority of people are like, I will wait. I don't care how long it takes. If you guys need another year, I'm going to be bummed and sad because I took time off of work. Like, there was that very public that one guy who's like, I literally asked you if I should take time off of work, and you said we're good to go. And then they came back and wrote, well, fuck.
Well, can you untake time off work? Can you do that?
I think overall, most people are happy to wait a couple more weeks. Again, for most of us around the world, it's leading right into holiday where we'll have at least a little bit of time to play. And it gives all of the games in November a little bit more room to breathe. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War.
What else, Andrea?
Watch Dogs Legion. There is this little Japanese game I think some people might be playing.
Like an indie game.
It's just a little indie game from Sega. Oh my god.
Yakuza. So there's no shortage of games to play. Demon Souls, I know a lot of people were excited about. Spider-Man Miles Morales, of course, coming as well. So there's plenty of things to play this holiday, and that's just a small sampling. So we don't need to belabor this. We empathize and sympathize with people who have to make tough decisions about their creative work. So hopefully everybody at CDPR is doing okay. And also, just be kind. Don't be an asshole.
Don't be a dick.
If you feel obligated to tweet something nice to CDPR, I'm sure they would be very grateful.
Yes.
All right, on to the next story. Well, it's not really a story so much as just an acknowledgement that you guys probably noticed that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X unboxing embargo released this week Graciously, Xbox sent us Series X's for our evaluation. We are not allowed to talk about playing them yet. We're not allowed to talk about the games that we have for them yet. That's coming at a later date. And no, I'm not allowed to tell you when that date is. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I don't make the rules.
Mystery. But it's like the gif of the guy, and he's like, it's happening. Hey. Okay, that's it.
Exactly.
I liked it. You got me hyped there for like 2 seconds, Simon.
Yeah,
that was
that's
good.
as long as my hype runs.
Yeah. And I know Britt has been anxiously awaiting Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh.
So
Sorry.
you're about to go back into a husbando hole.
Oh, they're all waiting for me.
Wasn't
All of
quite
them.
the way Phrasing.
Husband? Did you say husbando hole? Okay,
She
sure.
did.
Sure, yeah. I'll hop into that hole. No hesitation. Head first. Give me all the husbando holes. Let's go. Okay.
I'm into it.
Well, on that note.
And of course, the PlayStation 5 arrived as well. We will have more impressions on that. Of course, again, same thing applies. PlayStation said we have rolling embargoes. You can't say when they are, but I will, of course, talk to you guys about hands-on impressions as soon as I am able to. This is a great time to remind you, if you have not yet subscribed to youtube.com/what'sgoodgames or hit the notifications so you know when we upload videos, now would be a great time to do so. We would love your support.
Anytime would
there.
be a great time to do so, but now would be especially great.
Exactly. Lots of fun content coming for the next-gen console launches. Content that I didn't get to do. So, Brittany, I loved how in your Series X unboxing video, you called out the fact that this is the first time you've gotten a console ahead of the retail launch. And it's also the first time I've gotten a brand new console ahead of the retail launch. Now, we did get Xbox One X's as well, but that wasn't the beginning of the generation, right? That was just like a step up of the current generation. And so I think it's a really kind of special moment for us here at What's Good Games, kind of recognizing that we've been working in the video game industry for such a long time and collectively have so many years of professional experience, but this is the first time we kind of get to be part of this cool hype moment along with all of you. And so
Yeah.
I just want to say that's cool. It feels good, man.
It does
Feels
feel
real good.
Yeah.
Feels real good.
I did have a few news items regarding the PlayStation 5 launch. Today, the team at Young Horses announced along with PlayStation that Bugsnax is actually going to be coming to PlayStation Plus for free when it launches on the PS5. So this is a brand new announcement. This is really exciting and interesting.
Snacks for everyone.
Exactly. Free snacks, everybody.
Ooh,
It is still going to be
reminds me of gummy
$24.99
snacks.
when it launches on the Epic Games Store. But if you own a PlayStation and you want to check out Bugsnax, you can do so for free if you have a PlayStation Plus subscription. Speaking
So
of
good.
PlayStation Plus, Sony also revealed a complete list of the games that are going to be available to play on the PlayStation 5 at launch that are part of the PlayStation Plus collection. Of course, this is just an added value bonus that they announced if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber. So the list of games is pretty impressive. I'm just going to run down them quickly because there isn't like a giant list. So it's Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Bloodborne, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 5, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil 7, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Until Dawn, and Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
Cool.
Nice.
All for free. All for
All
okay,
for
not
free.
technically.
They're not
Well,
technically
quotes
free.
Well,
But
But like if you're going to be
you're
playing
gonna be
online
playing
games, you're going to have a PlayStation Plus subscription.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah. And these games will see performance improvements and have the new game help system, on-screen tips and guidance. So there you go. Perfect.
Exactly. So that's
Hop
cool.
in.
So hopefully you guys are hyped. Let us know if there's one console or the other that you are hyped for. We're going to be doing lots of coverage. So speaking of new consoles, Brittany, there is a story here about Series X and Series S.
Yeah, just a little short tidbit of news. So this comes from IGN. Microsoft has said that it's performed more than 500,000 hours of testing to confirm that every game playable on the Xbox One from the original Xbox, Xbox 360, and the One itself will also work on its next-gen consoles, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S at launch, except for those Kinect games, Lo Siento. That's a lot of testing
that's
time.
a lot of hours.
That's a lot of fucking time. How many days is that? Hold on. We're gonna do
I
some
wonder
math
how
here.
many people are on that team.
Divided by 24. That is 20,833 days. My guess is probably that they have some sort of bot, obviously, like running these things, right, and testing, running all this stuff in the background. But anyway, I just think it's so cool. It's nice to finally have a console generation coming up where it feels like, okay, yeah, like the last generation isn't going to be completely ignored for those people, especially who can only afford to get the new consoles if they sell their older consoles. It's like all of your games can come with you. You don't have to worry about having tons of consoles everywhere. It felt so good to kind of unplug my One X and like my old consoles when I was setting up my Series X and be like, I don't need you anymore. I loved you, but I don't need you.
You can be free.
You can be free. And by free, I mean you can go in a box in a room where I'll forget about you.
See, I haven't done that yet. I'm not quite ready. And also mostly because there's a very limited amount of things that we can play on the new consoles right now ahead of launch, because the vast majority of titles, including the third-party titles, which are going to be, the hefty part of the launch lineup, aren't getting day one patches for the new consoles until the consoles launch.
Yeah.
And so I'm still rocking my old gen. My old gen boys. Gonna ride or die for the next couple of weeks, and then we're gonna,
Yeah,
sweet,
spend those
sweet
precious
goodbye.
moments with them.
Yeah. Love them, stroke them,
Say goodbye.
kiss them.
Yeah, I think I can count the number of times on one hand that I took my PS3 or 360 out this generation.
Same. I did it for Yakuza Dead Souls.
Just got rid of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just got rid of them.
Oh, well. I might as well. Yeah, I only did it for Yakuza Dead Souls, and then I did it when I wanted to play Mass Effect back in the day. And that was it.
Yeah.
Back before all that back compat.
That thing still hasn't been announced yet.
Anniversary edition.
I'm holding out hope for N7 Day.
Or shit. For some reason I was like, that already happened, Andrea, and I'm like, oh my god, no, it hasn't.
No, it's okay. I thought we were in August.
I feel like I don't know where I am.
Next time, I thought we were in August, like yesterday, so it's okay.
No, I keep fast forwarding. I'm like, is it December?
I don't blame you. Now that the weather's starting to get cold, I put socks on for the first time since May. Literally, it's so hot. It was 90 degrees just a week ago, okay?
Yeah.
And then it finally got cold. The house got down to 64 degrees, and I was like, all right, it's time for socks. And
I always wear socks in my house, but that's because I'm always cold, even if it's warm outside.
I just run hot, so I only put socks on when I'm real cold. And then John gets mad because he's like, "Can't we just turn the heat on?" And I was like, "No, because it's going to be 80 degrees tomorrow. We're not turning the heat on. Just put a sweatshirt on."
I've been living in socks, and because of that, my winter troll feet are in full effect. No shame in that game.
Winter troll feet.
I just bought some new winter slippers.
There you go.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right, enough about our feet, as much as some members of this audience would like us to talk about them. Cymer, would you mind recapping this Nintendo Direct?
Sure. Via Destructoid, they went ahead and gave us a nice little rundown of what happened on apparently a Nintendo Direct that happened that I blinked and missed.
I blinked and missed it too.
Billed as the, quote, last partner showcase of the year, Nintendo dropped some news on us today from studios both big and indie via the Nintendo Direct Mini. Oh my god, how adorable. Partner showcase. Here's the rundown. First up, Bravely Default 2. After getting a roughly 4-minute rundown of some of the game's mechanics, Nintendo dropped the news that the game finally has a release date. And that is, get your pencils out, February 26th, 2021. Quote, later today, so I imagine it is already out on the internet, you'll get a full video rundown of some of the fan-requested changes based on the demo. Also, Story of Season, Pioneers of Olive Town, is due on March 23rd, 2021. There's also videos of that you could go look up. Surviving the Aftermath has a spring 2021 window on Switch. Immortals Phoenix Rising, also coming to Switch December 3rd. Nintendo reminded us that the Way Forward Bakugan game is due on November 3rd. The card-based Griftlands Switch Edition has a summer 2021 window for Switch. Tropico 6 is arriving on the Switch in November 6th of this year. And then we're also getting cloud versions, which I don't know what that means, of Hitman 3 due in 2021, and Control Ultimate Edition, which is out the day that this thing was out, so it's already out. You can go get it. And then, let's see, No More Heroes 1 and 2 is out today. Again, in the past, it's already out. Go get it. And while No More Heroes 3 still coming, 2021. Part-Time UFO from HAL Laboratory is also out, so you can grab that. And then there's going to be a Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity demo that, again, already exists. You can go grab all this stuff right now. How exciting is that?
This
so
is one
exciting.
of those Nintendo things where they're like, by the way, we're going to drop a
question,
direct.
which actually was basically my question, from Mr. Yasman from our Patreon community. It says, I was wondering to hear your thoughts on Control being probably a cloud-only version for the Switch, and do you see this being a success? I don't know if Nintendo will be able to pull it off, especially how they handle their online stuff.
So the cloud stuff was only in Japan until this announcement. So, for example, games like Resident Evil 7, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there's one more, Phantasy Star Online too. The only way you could play these games in Japan was through the cloud, because if you look at the size of these games, Nintendo's internal storage is only like, 32 gigs?
Yeah,
so I think it
can't do it.
Right, and plus, like, these games are just too beefy for the Switch. So, yeah, in Japan, what they've been doing is they've had this little cloud streaming service. So, for the first time, it's being brought over here, and for, obviously, the games that you just mentioned. And from what I've read, that it sounds like it works, like, okay. Like, it works decent. It just depends, again, on, like, your internet. And obviously, like, you know, you can't really travel with it, because if you do, then you have to switch hotspots depending on, like, if you're on the bus or you're on the subway or maybe you're at a restaurant. And then that usually causes you to get kicked out. So anyway, that's what that's all about. Whether or not it'll be successful, I think with anything that's online based and streaming based, it's just going to depend on, like, where you're at and what your resources available are.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It's Nintendo. But at least they're trying. Like, good for you. But some of the other announcements that I kind of got my panties in a tight and twisted bundle. Obviously, like, the first one being the Story of Seasons Pioneer of Olive Town. So excited. So the last Story of Seasons game we got was obviously Friends of Mineral Town, which I talked about on the show. But before that,
these cows. Oh my god, look
how fucking cute it looks. It looks
It looks real cute.
So cute. So the last other one we got was Trio of Towns, which came out in 2016. That was the last, like, major installment, and that was on the 3DS. So we knew they were working on, like, a brand new installment, and then this is it. And so what looks really cute about this, right?
Sorry, I saw the baby foxes and I got really excited.
No, like, please, squeal. It makes me so happy to share all this with all of you. Okay, so essentially it's like the tried and true, like, your grandfather and his friends ran this little community or this little farm, and you're leaving your old city in the life. Yeah, you are leaving your life in the city behind to try to, like, make something out of what was once something great. And for the most part, like... Right? So we're watching on YouTube.
Trees?
YouTube.com. I said comms. YouTube.com/what'sgoodgames. And it looks like a mix of Trio of Towns and Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town, which was the recent remake they did, which really incorporated a lot of quality of life improvements. Like you said, like the mass clearing of trees, and then everything, like, comes back to you. It's like you don't have to go fetch it yourself.
Yeah, you're basically magnetized. All of the stuff just automatically comes to you.
And the character models look much more real. They're not like these really cute blobs with huge eyes. Like, they actually have legs and arms,
which is nice. Animals look fake as fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm
oh my god, look at these giant
cows,
though.
Yes.
The cows are enormous. The llamas are adorable.
Yeah. So you see the cows, you see the chickens, the sheep, the rabbits. I think that there was an ox in there. I'm pretty sure that's new. So that's exciting that we're getting new. Here we're looking at the town. And again, I love that the character models actually look like people and they don't look like blobs.
Oh my god.
For me,
I'm so
that's
excited.
like awesome.
Holy shit.
Yep. Yeah. And so kind of reading a little, you can get married.
A wedding dress.
Girl, yeah, you get married. You fucking bang people.
Do you hold things over your head and give them to them as gifts?
Yes, Timer. That is what it's all
I
about.
I really want to court someone that way.
I did that to Jason for a while.
I just want to hold something over my head, and then, like, but it has to be a giant egg or something stupid, and then you give it to them over and over again, and eventually I want them to be like, "Will you marry me?" And I'll be like, "Hell yeah, I will. I'll give you 15 eggs."
Exactly. That's how you court people, and I love it so much. Hilarious. So, like, reading about it on the website, there's some things that sound like it's going to be a little bit more innovative this time around. So there's a new cast of marriage candidates, a town that grows and thrives alongside your farm, and a request system. So that's pretty new. I mean, marriage candidates aren't, but the request system does sound new. And if you find earth sprites, they might lead you to mysterious fantastical lands, such as gardens where the series never change, an island in the sky, or even the inside of a volcano. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I'm absolutely here for it.
Yes,
and
give
you
me some
can
weird molten creature.
That's what I'm saying. Give me some molten crops. I don't fucking care. And it looks like a mixture. I'm seeing a lot of influences from Stardew Valley in this as well.
Oh, yeah.
Thus, like, all of the, like, efficient tools. Like, we saw the watering. We saw the customization of your farm. There was some of that in Trio of Towns, but definitely not in this level. Anyway, I am so fucking excited.
It also looks like, slightly Animal Crossing in the, like, he's like, oh, I'm building up the town. It's like, here's where my pathways go.
Oh, yeah, no, when I saw him building the path, I was like, no, I can't do it.
I can. I'm
Yes,
excited.
you
I'm so
can.
excited.
I used to be super into sim games like a long time ago. Spending a lot of time in games like Sim Farm, and then there was like when I was really big into tablet gaming in like the early 2010s when I was hosting an iPad show, I got really big into this game called Fiona's Flowers, where all you did was like grow flower
Alliteration.
patches. And that seeing them grow all the different crops really kind of reminded me of that. And obviously my love of Animal Crossing is very well known at this point.
Yes.
So maybe I'll have to check this one out, Britt.
I hope you do.
When is that coming out? 'Cause
March 3rd,
March.
2021.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I like read over it, but I couldn't remember because Britt, you always talk about this. You're always like, there's this one which isn't very good, and there's this other one which is kind of like whatever, and then there's the good one. And I couldn't remember if Story Seasons was the good one or not.
Yeah. No, Story of Seasons is the good one. Harvest Moon is the one that's not good. Think of like.
But there was
well, I
another
don't-
one.
Yeah.
Isn't there a third that you were talking about just recently?
Are you talking about My Time at Portia?
Yeah, maybe.
They have a sequel that we talked about on the Monday show.
Yeah, and they hit their Kickstarter goal of 100K. That one's really good too. That was one of my favorite games from last year. But no, Story of Seasons, you can't go wrong with that. But Harvest Moon, you unfortunately want to stay away from. There is a new Harvest Moon coming out early next year as well. I don't know if I think it's around the same time. But save yourself. I'll play that
Get
one. I'll
wrecked,
report
Harvest
back.
Moon.
Yeah.
We're
I
gonna
give
go
that
to Olive Town.
serious- Yes.
Also,
Oh my
olives
God.
are delicious.
They are. That's what I'm saying.
Olives
It's just a 10 out of 10
sound
already.
tasty.
I'm so
Didn't
excited.
Story of Seasons just get a brand new merch line with insert coin?
They did. Yes. They have this awesome, really, really cute merch line. And my favorite item they have is the strawberry cow hoodie. So it looks like those big cows.
Strawberry.
Yes.
What a cow.
I want that with Steimer's head on the cow's head though. But anywho, yeah, it's like one of those big cows, but it's pink, which means it produces strawberry milk. And then they have these has a cute little strawberry like
love
bell
dumb shit
attached
like
to the
that.
back of it. I know, it's just so fucking wholesome. And then there's like I think chocolate cow, which is more of like a dark brown color. It's just precious. Oh, and then there's there's like an orange one. Maybe can't remember what it is. Anyway, they're all so cute.
We're about to go look it up
Yeah,
on the internet right now.
I'm looking
Good.
it up right now.
Let's see.
And I thought it was kind of
Story.
interesting that Insert
There it
Coins partnered with Story of Seasons. It's awesome. But I'm like, that just seems like a really random partnership. But now that this just got announced, it's like, okay, now it kind of makes a little sense. Look at
Yeah, so this is the I'm on the wrong page. Here we go. This is the sweatshirt. And Insert Coin has an
Oh my
amazing
God, I want
brand. We've worked with them a lot over the years. Look at
Look
this.
at that.
Look this.
Can we get this? Because I want it.
It looks
Yes.
really cute. So it's got a little cow there. Do
Oh my
they have
God.
more photos?
Does her shirt have just
And it has little
all
strawberries.
over it?
On the
Let's see.
pocket, it's just strawberries. I think the shirt is all the little animals, like the little fox friends.
Oh my
and
God,
the
I
little-
want this. I want this
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Holy shit. I've never wanted a clothing line more in my life. And I don't really like video game clothing that much, but this shit's cute.
I know.
It's really
I know.
cute.
It's just the most
Here's
wholesome
me
series
just
you'll
like
ever
patiently
play.
waiting for my ridiculously expensive order of black milk Super Mario.
Wait, what's the tote bag? Oh, is it the chicken?
It's the chicken, yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Isn't that just so cute? Oh,
keeps going? Yeah, it keeps the ratio of the picture keeps getting messed up.
look at that.
Oh my God, they have-
I haven't seen that
Aw.
one. It's the little rabbits and
I
chickens.
don't know why that's doing
Why
that.
is it doing that?
I don't know. That's odd.
Okay, this is some very cute things. I would totally wear that hoodie, and I would totally wear that t-shirt, and I would totally carry that tote bag.
There you go.
So it's her coin.
I told
Hello.
Brittany, I go, I've never played a Story of Seasons game, but that hoodie is really cute. That cow, that strawberry cow is really cute.
Yeah.
So cute. So wholesome. Oh,
Oh, man. All right. I think that is going to wrap up our Nintendo Direct Mini. We don't really have a lot more news except Brittany.
oh yeah.
There is one last thing that we want to mention
Oh,
about
yes, there is.
Resident Evil.
We're going to go from cutesy little farm animals to blood, gore, and zombies. Okay.
Delicious.
Yeah, so in September, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness was announced. This is an original Netflix animated series with Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. We know close to nothing about it. We still know close to nothing about it. But anyway, I digress. We got these really cool pictures of Claire and Leon. And I mean, I think it's cool because, of course, I do. But what's interesting about this is that this series is going to be canon. And so if you look at it, so if you go back to Leon
Oh, for
looks...
some reason I thought this was going to be live action.
No, there is a live action series So you have
is
the
that a
CG
different
series. Yeah, you have the CG Netflix. You have the live action Netflix, which stars Wesker, which is like the main antagonist, and his 2 daughters. And then you have the actual film that's happening as well. There's a lot going on.
Okay.
So what's interesting about this is that if you look at those pictures, you have Claire and Leon. And if you look at the canon game lore from about, let's just call it 1999, because Resident Evil 3 and Code Veronica ends in December of 1998. Code Veronica does. So you have the space from 1999 to about 2005, which is when Resident Evil 4 takes place, which is when Leon is whisked away to Spain to take place in RE4, like I just said. We don't really know what's going on with those characters during that time period. So we have about 6 years of 5 to 6 years
The lost
of
years.
the lost years, yes, like the lost levels, but the lost years of Resident Evil, that Capcom could tell this really interesting story, because we don't know. Like, Claire hasn't really been a very prominent character besides Resident Evil 2. She was also in Code Veronica, obviously, and then the next game she was in Resident Evil Revelations 2, which I think came out in like 2016, 2017? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know!
I'll look it up for you, Britt.
Okay, thanks. Anywho, it's just exciting to think that we're getting some canon filler on what these 2 characters were doing, and I think that's incredibly exciting. And that's all I really got. Rejoice with me, especially when Molly Bittner, who's been playing through all the Resident Evil games,
It looks
and
like
on our
Code Veronica's initial release was February 3rd, 2000.
yeah, but the game takes place in 1998
Oh, well, then what were you asking?
Yeah, what were you
about
asking?
Revelations 2.
Oh, Revelations.
Oh, my bad.
There's Revelations 2. I think that one takes place in
Oh.
2011.
Oh, wait, where it takes place or when it was released?
It was
When it
released
takes
February
place.
24th, 2015.
Okay,
I don't-
but yeah, I think it takes place in 2011. It's a whole thing.
Wikipedia?
It's a whole thing. It doesn't really matter. All I know is that this is exciting. And
2011?
yeah.
Yes,
The
it
plot
does.
is set in between Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6 in 2011.
You nailed
Okay,
it, Britt.
yeah. Okay, great.
You
good.
are our very own Wikipedia page for this game.
I try. Any human
Exactly.
rejoice, my Resident Evil fans. It's gonna be great. Oh yeah, what I was saying is, if you're not a fan of our Facebook fan page or a member of it, you should join it, because there's a lot of fun conversations that take place. And awesome member of our community, Molly Bittner, has been playing every Resident Evil game, and she's been posting these awesome recaps like every week. I think she's gone through, I don't know, most of them at this point. So it's really fun. So we have these fun conversations, and then there's been a thread where we're all like listing our favorite Resident Evil games. Anywho, it's just a fun
Aw.
time. Yeah, you
That's
should join.
fun.
Facebook, what's the URL? Facebook.com/groups/WGG. What's
You
good
can also
games?
just Google What's Good Games Facebook fan page, and
Yep, that's it.
The
Yeah.
interweb will get you there.
Do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm sure we can count on you to keep tabs on that.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Safe bet.
And that's going to bring us to the end of our news blog. When we come back, we have hands-on impressions with Watch Dogs Legion, plus a couple of other things. Stick with us, everybody. We'll be right back. All right, quickly, we have some announcements. Lights Off may be over, but we went out with a bang, playing Dead by Daylight with Zombie Kills and Brianna Manuel, and of course the 3 of us. It was a lot of fun. We're currently working on VOD cutdowns of the streams that we were going to be posting to youtube.com/whatsgoodgames, but of course you guys can go to twitch.tv/whatsgoodgames if you guys want to watch the full streams. Overall, I think it was really fun, and I love that we got to play a lot of games co-op together.
I
was
know.
more thinking that I was a little bit bummed that I felt like my murder run through was slightly botched due to the map. Like, I feel like I would have maybe killed everyone if I had had a map that wasn't so, like, narrow and tight. Like, it was so hard.
Ooh.
We got basically the Demogorgon map.
Yes,
But I was
the
playing
Stranger
it-
Things map.
I was playing the Hillbilly, which required, like, you have a chainsaw. You got to rev it up and then get them. But if somebody turns a corner in that time, you don't hit them. You hit what?
You killed me, Steimer.
I killed
You
two
killed
of you.
me. Yeah.
Brittany and I killed a
Zombie.
zombie.
Yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
good about killing her, out of context quote, because she was the quote unquote like most not best, but the most.
I think hands down she was the
Veteran
best.
player?
She was
Yeah.
the best player.
She's
Yeah,
Without
yeah.
question.
She's had like she plays the game a lot. She plays it every Thursday. I think she said on her channel. So the fact that I
yeah,
did
she's
manage
good.
to get her, I was like, haha, pat myself on the back.
Yeah, you did
Yeah,
great, and
you did.
I agree with you that you got a bad luck of the draw there. But it was fun. Rihanna made a great escape when you were the killer that Doc
So
Rourke
funny.
made a clip of that you guys can check out on our
I
channel.
wasn't sure if I could follow her outside.
You can't.
Can't?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Like it was like
Once she's out that gate, that means she has escaped.
okay, I figured as much, but I saw her out there and part of me was like, do I go for it? But then I wasn't sure what would happen. I didn't want to break the game, so I just stayed inside.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know this game well enough to like
There
try and
are a
do some
couple
weird shit.
maps that have interior sections that you can go outside, but that particular section, that was her escaping. So you
Got
kind of
it.
followed
I
her
just
there.
saw her going
But-
off into the darkness.
But yeah, it was fun, and I want to thank everybody who participated in our fundraising. You guys got us to $4,000 raised for Able Gamers. We are $1,000 away from our team goal of $5,000, so I'm going to be doing a Scream stream on Halloween this Saturday, October 31st, starting at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to be doing a couple of different games. So I have been talking about doing my Animal Crossing yard sale for a long time, and Saturday is going to be the day. We're going to be doing some Animal Crossing trick-or-treating, as you guys know. Jack the Halloween Czar is going to be showing up on everybody's islands. So I'm excited to finally clean out my inventory and get rid of a bunch of items. So if you guys want to come by, I hope you do so. I'm also going to be playing some Among Us, going to be playing some more Dead by Daylight because I bought a bunch of DLC on Monday
Yeah, you
night.
did.
And I want to be able to use it. And so I'm going to be streaming for a couple of hours, at least 3 or 4 hours. So hopefully you guys can pop on by and help us get over that last little bit to get us to our $5,000 goal raised for Able Gamers. Friends of the show, Zombie Kills, and Spawn on Me's Khalif Adams are also going to be streaming earlier in the day. They're starting at 12 p.m. Pacific time. They're doing Treats and Treats, where they have been collecting gifts and money, and then they're going to be going around and just doing random acts of kindness. And so I'm really looking forward.
Real life?
No, I think the idea is that they're going to be dropping into people's streams and
okay.
rating
Got
people's
it.
streams and then like gifting subs and doing
that's
things like
nice.
that. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. They may have an IRL component to that, but if you are looking for a feel-good thing to watch this Saturday, hopefully you guys can check out twitch.tv/zombiekills or twitch.tv/spawnonme. And then come visit me for this Scream stream. I'm definitely going to need people to
Ooh.
play with. So hopefully if you guys are staying home, which you should be, and not going anywhere, don't do that. Be a responsible citizen. Eat lots of candy in your pajamas. It'll be great.
Oh.
We can hang out together.
I'm a strawberry. Should I break out the strawberry costume?
Yes.
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 Do you still have that somewhere here?
Yes, I definitely do.
I'm like, I don't know where it would be.
It's
but.
up in one of those boxes up there.
Oh, great.
But, you know, I have to figure out what I'm going to do. I think my plan was to wear my skeleton sweatsuit and
Oh,
then
that's so
paint,
cozy.
and then paint a skeleton on my face.
Mm.
Do skeleton face paint.
That looks like fun, or sounds like fun.
Yeah. You want to come paint faces?
I'm sad I don't have a skull.
I have a
thing.
extra tank top. So you could wear the long sleeve shirt, the cozy one, and I could wear the tank top.
Okay.
You just have to wear black sweatpants.
Yeah, I wouldn't know Hello Kitty ones.
You don't have to
there you
pull
go. We can,
too
like,
hard on
paint
that
our
one.
faces as skeletons.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I definitely feel like I want to carve a pumpkin too. I know I'm rambling now. We're doing announcements.
Okay, yeah, sorry. The announcement is now we're talking about Halloween plans. That's it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's it for announcements, everybody. Hopefully we'll see you on Saturday. Welcome back, everybody. It is the second segment of the What's Good Games podcast, and this is where we talk about what we've been playing. And this week, all three of us have been playing Watch Dogs Legions.
I
Thank you
believe
to
it is pronounced Wirtstergs.
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 Sorry, my bad.
Also, I cut you off. I'm
Let me
sorry.
start over. This week, all three of us have been playing Wirtstergs.
There you go.
Thank you to Ubisoft for sending over pre-release codes so that we may evaluate the game. Disclaimer done. We have obviously done coverage on this game a couple of times, been to a couple of different preview events. So I was personally really looking forward to this game, but I'm actually more looking forward to what you two have to say about the game. So you both are still pretty early in the game. Is that right?
Yes.
Very.
I'm cleared out, like, definitely through the intro stuff. I'm past that, but I'm not, like, super deep into it yet.
Okay.
That's what she said. Yeah, I'm like maybe 5 hours in. And I've done the only one main mission, but I've been spending my time wandering around just like collecting people for my posse. Like, hey,
Oh,
you're a construction
see,
worker.
I just do that as I drive by. So like as you drive by, you can still hit the left bumper or whatever your controls are, and scan people. And so I scan them as either the auto drive is going, if you like really want to get hands off with
That's
it.
efficient. Nice.
And then I'm like, oh, I like your outfit, and then I just save them to like maybe I'll come after you later. Like I'll put you in the database.
Yeah. So I'm actually. Like spoilers, not really spoilers, TLDR. I'm having a good time with it. The one thing though I was kind of confused at first is after you get through the intro, you're kind of like, okay, I had this huge world in front of me. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
And it's like, here's a main mission you can do. But knowing what I know about Watch Dogs Legion, I have a dog hair in my mouth. I felt compelled.
You have a watchdog hair in your mouth?
Oh, I missed opportunity,
how
man.
dare you.
Shit. Good job, Steimer. I felt compelled that I felt like I needed to recruit people because I didn't know when I would need someone. So I spent like these 4 hours just kind of wandering around London, which looks gorgeous, by the way, and recruiting everyone. So I have a construction worker, I have a doctor, I have a police officer, I have a game coder, and I have a guy from Albion on my team. And so far, like just doing some of the side stuff, it's been incredibly helpful to have people from all walks of life, because then you can kind of blend in with these restricted areas. And obviously each restricted area, you need to have a certain costume, or you aren't like, you're not immune from being busted, but you just have to kind of keep your distance.
Just a little bit more incognito.
Yeah, you can walk around and you just kind of have to make sure you stay a little bit far away from people. And that's been really fun. And I was always worried that because there's, endless characters to this game in terms of like who you want to recruit, that there wouldn't be enough narrative or interesting characters to keep me hooked. But I have to say it works. And I don't know if it's because it's taking that approach that I didn't anticipate, which is because a lot of these characters do have a backstory. Actually, they all have a pretty deep backstory if you want to like read about them in their little info section. But you almost get to like role play a little bit more in that sense because they are so almost anonymous in that regard.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay,
you can imprint your own personality.
Yeah, you really can. And it works. And I don't know if it's because the city feels so alive and bustling that these characters don't feel boring and lame. They're like, okay, like, hey, like you don't need a super like, oh my God, character, because you obviously have that in the form of NPCs in the background, because you have the city itself, which is almost its own character. That always like something's always happening.
For
but
sure.
It's working. Yeah.
I wonder if maybe we should back up a little bit, just in case you've never, for some reason, heard of Watch Dogs Legion before.
Even though we've talked about it on the show
We've talked about the show a lot.
You monsters.
But it's always just good to do a little TLDR for it, I think.
Sure.
So obviously this is an open world game from Ubisoft. The main, I would say, shtick of it is that there are but there are very few traditional characters, and you can recruit literally anybody in the city of London. So they've built, like, I would just like to first off a little mini round of applause the fact that they actually made this shit work, because when they first talked about that concept, I was like, oh, that sounds like a technological nightmare. How on earth are you ever going to do that?
Yep.
And they did it. So granted, again, I'm not super far into the game yet, so I personally haven't run into any tech yet in the few hours that I've played, but I will say I do notice that with open world games, they kind of get buggier the more you get into them. So I'm, put a pin in that. We'll come back to that one later. But I do think that what you were saying, Britt, is very true of what most open world games should strive to be, which is that the city itself is a character, and then you have the other ones on top of it that are really more, honestly, just fun pawns. Like that's what all of the characters are. They aren't really designed to be major narrative carriers in any sort of way. They do all have their own little unique quirks in terms of, at least so far, they have different voices or different ways of talking, which has kept it interesting for me. I picked somebody at the very beginning and then loaded into the game, and I was like, oh no, I can't listen to you.
That happened to me with my starting character as well.
Yeah. So then I immediately was just like, the next time I got, it was like, so you completed a mission and then you got another recruit automatically, and I just swapped over to her, and I was like, oh yes, this is much better. I can roll with this.
So that's part of the whole Legion aspect. So if you're not familiar with the Watch Dogs franchise, essentially you are part of a hacker group, more of like a vigilante group called DedSec. You're in London after a terrorist attack has occurred from this group called Zero Day that has pinned it on DedSec so that the general public thinks that DedSec committed this terrorist act where they blew up and exploded multiple parts of the city of London. And your job as a DedSec operative is to find out who was really behind the bombings in London and how can you, bring their crimes to light and make sure people are brought to justice. And so throughout the process of the Watch Dogs Legion, you're essentially trying to uncover who started this plot, who carried it out, who were the villains, so to speak. And what you discover as you go through the game is that there's a lot more people involved than you could have imagined. And there's some really bad people in the game.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think when Britt mentioned, she's like, oh God, I forgot about this part of the trailer.
Granny squad.
Granny just clocked somebody right in the head. Where Albion is the basically private military group that has now been allowed to take over London. And in the beginning of the game, you can kind of see a lot of propaganda where they're like, everything is fine, everything is great. But the Albion is like actively killing people or beating them up in the streets, and like it's a very militaristic state, which obviously for me I was like, this feels a little too
a little real,
a little too real.
Yeah,
of like what our
exactly.
future could be. I don't know how I feel about this, but I did start to get into it and definitely got to have that suspension of disbelief and really actually more enjoy it. So so far I am having a good time, I will say.
Yeah, no, me too. And I think that there's definitely some valid criticisms, which we'll get into in just a second. But I did want to focus on the things that I'm also having fun with. So I think one of the things that really excited me for my preview events, if you guys remember, is just the sheer amount of diversity in the characters. The idea that you can play anybody and they all have these backstories and they all have these unique missions. Being able to go on the recruitment missions has been something really interesting. So there was a mission that I did in one of my preview events that took me to a location that I went back to, and I recognized the location, but the reason I was there and how I completed my mission in that exact same location in my playthrough now was completely different. And I think that's what's really exciting and innovative about what Ubisoft is doing with Watch Dogs Legion. Now, the problem, of course, is that you can see a little bit of how the sausage is being made in terms of how the randomly generated parts of their algorithm is coming together. So one of the things that Steimer and I really kind of were bummed about, and the reason why we got rid of our starting character was because the voices sounded really unnatural. It's very obvious when you come across a character whose voice has been obviously voiced by a real human but has been modulated by a computer to sound like a different person's voice, but it's clearly just some kind of tone and pitch shift that makes it sound like they're working with a voice modulator, because clearly they are. And that to me was really immersion breaking in a way that was a bummer.
It was that for me, in addition to the script and the way that they had written that character, it was just really odd to me. And I don't notice that at all with the other one, which I think is interesting. So when I immediately switched over, that girl became much more like me, a little bit like less like the first girl was just like, yeah, DedSec, hell yeah, obviously not in that accent, different accent, but was just like way too excited about everything, and I just thought it felt off, and that wouldn't necessarily be what you would say when you were like, hey, I might get murdered in this new job that I'm deciding to take on. Hell yeah, let's go do it.
Oh, that's
exactly.
Because I'm still using my main character that I selected because I really like him, and I think he. So yeah, I guess it just depends.
Did he ever say like, hell yeah, let's go InfoSec or not InfoSec?
No, nah, he was pretty chill actually. He's an older gentleman and he has an accent from somewhere.
Yeah,
that was
the
like
interesting part. And so I think it's cool that they have. Each of them have a slightly different personality, aka they will speak a different way. But as Andrea said, sometimes those voices and the way they've come about them, it just makes it sound not pleasing to the ear.
That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a little bit of B-roll up here from my preview event. I haven't captured anything from my current playthrough, but I am going to be streaming the game. So by the time you guys hear the podcast, I will have already done my stream on Thursday. So you can check that out at twitch.tv/whatsgoodgames if you want to see some of the new gameplay. But what I like is that you get to meet these characters in the world that, feel like they're real people. And that to me is something worth applauding, that they did so much work writing these characters that make them feel authentic. And what I have kind of done is I've built a squad of all like badass ladies So I had a guy who was auto assigned to me, and I just like dismissed him. I retired him as an operative, and I was like, I'm only going to have a lady crew. And so I have a pretty diverse cross section of women on the team. But what I think is, kind of important that to bring up was a criticism I had during my preview events is becoming more apparent the longer I spend in Watch Dogs Legion's version of London, is that some of these characters feel like they're like Mr. Potato Head together, right? Like you can tell that like this hair model went on with this nose and this skin color and this voice, and the game kind of put them all together. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. And that's just something you're going to have to experience for yourself because, again, everybody's game is going to be different. It's not like these characters are unique. The only ones that are like the key NPCs in the game that are from the specific factions or that are part of the main storyline. Otherwise, these characters that you're going to have in your world are going to be very different than the ones that are in my game versus Steimer game or Britt's game.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was interesting, and I liked this about it as well. Is like, so when you start to recruit multiple people, and Brittany, you can probably also speak to this, when they all start to talk to each other a little bit, or like when you get into those cutscenes where everyone's coming together and you're like, here's my little ragtag band of misfits. Adorable. I am not currently trying to build my team out in any particular way. I'm really just picking when I went to the construction site, which is part of what you'll do to pick out a construction worker, I just went for the hottest guy. Not gonna lie.
Oh, funny. So I haven't experienced any of those cutscenes yet. I've just, like I said, I've taken this weird direction where I'm just kind of like wandering around and trying to learn like, how does this game work? And I need to stop. I need to reel myself in because this is how I know I will burn out like ASAP. So I've been doing some, I think they're called evidence missions, where you're gathering evidence to try to lower the people's faith in I think it's Albion, and then I've been trying to find some tech points here and there so I can get some snazzy new upgrades. But yeah, like I said, I've done one main mission, and that was some evidence gathering or propaganda busting or something like that. So I haven't had any of those cutscenes, but that's cool. Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I also kind of was like, oh, maybe I'll just like wander around and grab some tech points, and I did for a little bit, and then I just was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna dive back into the story and go and see what's going on there, because I know that I will get to the point where I want to just wander, but right now I'm like, okay, I want to see what's going on here with the story.
So how do you ladies feel about the tech points? Because I almost wish they were just given to you natively. Like when you complete a quest or you recruit someone, you get like a little here and there. I just don't, and maybe this is a personal thing, but I always don't like it when you have to go out of your way to try to find something to better your equipment or your characters.
Yeah, so I am kind of I see both directions. So I appreciate that when you clear a burrow, like the fog of war disappears, you do like the little bullet point missions, it reveals additional tech points. It's also very clear that you're never going to need to really chase down all of those tech points because you're probably going to figure out early on which of the gadgets you want to use. And hot swapping the gadgets is sort of easy, but like once you're in a mission or you're in a restricted area or in combat, when you would want to hot swap your gadgets, like you do, for example, in The Division 2, where you can have multiple gadgets, you can't. And then you either need to fail the mission or you have to run away from the mission, get out of combat, and then you can change your gadget, and you can really only have one gadget up at a time. Now, that said, there are specific NPCs that have specialty gadgets. So I finally found the beekeeper that Rihanna played with
a beekeeper.
In her preview event, and she's got this like special swarm of like these little microbots.
Oh my god, wait, that's straight up out of Black Mirror.
Yes.
Oh no, that's freaky.
So, and she's got an electrostatic beekeeper suit, which makes her immune to shock attacks, which is really great.
Oh my god, I want to go find this person.
The only thing that bums me out about it, so she's one of the burrow mission rewards, is that you can't really, if you change her clothes, you know, she doesn't wear the beekeeper suit, but she does when you're in combat. So there's that, but I do love putting on my badass bitches in high heels and making them run around London and fight people.
They're like,
hell yeah.
It's fun.
Ginger Rogers should be the name of your squad.
Seriously, we'll get into the shopping and how much I love the shopping and Watch Dogs in a second. But going back to the tech points, I have discovered that, there's a couple of things that you'll figure out that you want kind of right away, like being able to, disable all the different kinds of drones that are going to come after you, being able to, upgrade your cloak. So I did AR cloak and the stealth cloak upgrades first. I was like,
that's what I've been doing.
Because this game makes it very clear that you are not supposed to be in combat. So I didn't even bother with buying the additional guns.
Oh my God. I didn't accidentally, but I didn't realize when I switched to another character that she really has like a stun gun. Like it's the wimpiest
They're
gun.
all non-lethal.
Yeah, and I was like, the fuck? No, God damn it. I need to kill these. Like a whole swarm of people came down on me and I had to kill them all with this like wimpy ass little gun. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. I need to get in that room and you're all in there. So goodbye.
Yeah, there's specific characters like the Albion guards have real guns. Like the Albion guard that I recruited, she has like an LMG, which is pretty
Ooh,
powerful. But I'm trying not to kill people because the whole idea.
But when they're trying to kill me, I kill them.
Listen, I'm with you.
Fair game at that
but
point.
I'm also, I have been going, like, I do try and go in stealth if I can. There was just that one mission where I don't know how I could have really, like, maybe I should have cloaked more. I don't know. But it was just like, they're everywhere. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you can. I mean, I'm a big fan of the takedown with the cloak. So I shroud them. So in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there was a shroud mechanic as well, but those bodies actually disappear because you're like in the Animus. But here, they don't disappear. They're just cloaked. So other guards can technically bump into them and then find their shrouded bodies, but they're more difficult to find because they're invisible.
Yeah.
But their bodies are still technically there. But it was the first thing I invested in. But yeah, the tech points are awarded for some of the main story missions, and then otherwise you have to just go chase them down in the open world.
That's good to know that you do get them from main story missions.
Yeah, you do. And most of the gadgets and things and the upgrades aren't too expensive. They range from like 15 to 35 or 40 tech points. And when you pick up a tech point in the open world, they're 10 points a piece, but most of the main story missions award them in increments of 20.
Ooh,
so
okay.
It's pretty easy to get the tech points, but you just have to go after them. So it's annoying, but not difficult.
Too bad.
I didn't mind it because again, like you mentioned, when they clear the fog of war, when you do like the few missions required to clear or not clear it, but make the borough defiant. It's like, here's everything. You're like, neat. So I can like take my time and wander around and pick up points when I need them or as needed. And I also don't feel like this map was overwhelming to me, at least so far. I suppose it is possible. You would know better because you're farther into the game than I am. But right now I'm like, okay, this map is not super cluttered, so I dig it. Like I know where the shops are. I can go get my clothes. I know where the tech points are. So if I feel like hunting something, I can go get that. There do seem to be other mini things to do, like courier missions or things like that. But they seem very optional, like to the point where I think I did one was just like, you know what, I don't want to do this, and then
yeah, I haven't felt compelled to do them either. I'm like, okay, that's cool, it's a thing. But
yeah, I did one of the Parcel Fox missions, and then I was like, I'm not doing this again because the Albion guards will chase you, so you have to outrun them, and then you don't really get that much ETO. You get like a couple hundred ETO. Yeah. Obviously, they scale.
Buy some shoes. That's it.
Yeah. Well, barely. I mean, most of the good stuff is at least a couple thousand ETO in the game. But essentially, they scale in difficulty.
Shoes.
Payless. There you go.
Don't you not be knocking.
I'm not knocking.
Don't you be knocking
Payless
Payless
shoes.
shoes. I love Payless.
That's the price range that they give you for those missions.
Yes.
You're not going to buy some Louboutins doing some Parcel Fox shit.
You're not going to get the fancy knee-high sparkly boots that you want. No. You're going to get the regular sneakers.
Correct. That was only my point. I'm not knocking Payless.
It's a good point, but Payless is gone now.
Oh shit! Wait, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Lost that memo.
But I think that really just echoes that this game is not pushing themselves in the way that I was really hoping. I think they really stand out, as I've mentioned, in the diversity of their NPCs. I don't think they really stand out in almost any other aspect, and that's a giant bummer because I'm having a lot of fun in this game, but this game doesn't feel like the gameplay is something that's very different than everything else I've played before, and it's honestly not even one of the better Ubisoft games I've played, and it's coming out right next to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is a gorgeous game that I think is really going to pull focus from this game, and this game has been in development for so long. I don't know how to reckon with the idea that I feel like I've seen this game before. Even the narrative doesn't feel like it's really pulling me in because it feels like we've seen it before. You've got a shadowy, cloaky terrorist group that has an agenda where we have to reset society.
They're the Reapers 2.0.
Yeah, and to do so, we have to tear it down to reset it. And I know that that's been a common criticism from other people who have reviewed the game as well. And so it's like, well, you don't have a centralized character. How do you feel compelled? And like, while I still feel sympathy towards DedSec and their mission, at the same time, the way that the game is set up makes me feel like I'm not as immersed as I want to be. So I was telling Steimer and Brittany about this gameplay experience I had.
Oh.
Because it does have that open world chaos factor that a game like Just Cause has, that a game like GTA has, where when you're driving around, shit just goes sideways really quickly for like the smallest of errors, right? You accidentally like bump
Flip
into an
somebody.
Albion guard and they're like
5 stars.
yeah, they like push you back, and then I of course can't just walk away, so I fight them. And I'm like, anytime I see anybody getting beat up by an Albion guard, I have to fight them or rescue them.
Some random dudes tried to fight me. They weren't even Albion. They were just like
They're probably like Clan Kelly people.
Oh, maybe.
One of
Yeah.
the
I
was
gangs
just
in
like,
the game.
why? And then I tried to shop, and then when I got into the shopping mode, and then somebody hit me out of shopping mode.
And you're like, excuse me,
like-
I was shopping.
I was trying to buy a shirt. Could you not? Like, just leave me alone. And then
Oh
I
my
just ran.
God.
I was like, I don't feel like hurting them, so I'll run away.
Yeah, and this is the problem. I was doing a mission where I had to take an ambulance and drop it off at a hospital, and essentially an escort mission. And on the way, because the driving is wildly inconsistent between vehicles, I accidentally clipped a pedestrian as I was driving right in front of an Albion guard, and so they started chasing me. I immediately got one like star. You know, it's like a 5.
It's like a GTA system.
Yeah, they're like triangles, but it's like the mercenary system in Assassin's Creed where you get one guy following you and get up to like 5 people that are hunting your ass. And it's the same thing here. It's a 1 to 5 star rating system. And then in my attempt to shake this tail that I had, I ended up murdering like 7 more pedestrians.
That's
what happened to me. So there's all these cars scattered around the city, right, where you can just hop in and you can take.
Nobody's
you just
driving
get
them.
in.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, okay, my very first car, that's what happened is I found a car on the side of the road. I'm like, okay, cool. I can just get in any car I want. Maybe some of these are self-driving cars. I don't know. Well, you can see where this is going. I was in the middle of the street. I needed a car. I jacked someone's car.
There
And
was
next
actually
thing I
someone
know-
in the car?
Oh, yeah,
If
driving.
the cars
Well,
are moving, yeah,
they
then
were
you're
moving.
stealing
Well,
them.
no, because I mean, I've managed to steal cars on the street that no one's, because if they have the A on it, it means like it's automatically being driven.
I
It's like
did
there's
not know that.
There's no one in the car, and so I grab those guys.
It's an
and
autonomous car?
yeah, there's just like cars driving around with
Oh.
nobody in them.
Brittany, I didn't realize
Okay.
that either. I only
Okay.
take cars that are parked on the side of the road.
The
now.
taxis are like that.
Yeah,
The
me
taxis
too, because
have
I was
nobody
so
in them.
scared. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, because I took a car, someone was in it. I had the whole fucking like city of London after my ass because I panicked. I hate being chasing games. I absolutely panicked. They were finding me because of all the checkpoints I was like crossing over.
Amazing.
And then eventually I used my cloak and then I got away. But I will say I love how the fast travel system is like there's a lot of subways that you can fast travel to. So
yes.
it's really easy
God
to
bless
like
the tube.
go back. Yeah. So okay. Is there only one save? There's no way to create separate saves, is there, for this game?
I have not seen a
No.
save button.
Ugh.
Not having a manual save has been driving me a little bonkers.
Dude.
Really,
yes.
honestly, it's fucking dangerous with a game like this, like because of the way that open world games can break. To not allow you to have multiple saves is a little terrifying.
yes.
Because you can't go back. Like if something is borked, it's just borked. Like your game file, like they need to patch it or figure something out.
Yes,
So
and
I
they
don't-
are doing a day 1 patch, but I've asked them for details on what that day 1 patch includes, and they have not given me the details yet.
Hopefully manual saves.
But yeah,
I hope
probably
so.
not. But
No, I know,
I've had
but-
4 hard dashboard crashes playing this game.
Oh no, that
And I've been playing on
sucks.
Xbox One X. And I've been bummed, but I also am not surprised because this game is loading so many assets in and out of the world
yeah.
that I'm not surprised that they're having these kinds of crashes, but they aren't like they're totally random. Like it's not like I'm going into the same part of the menu or the same type of cutscene. It's just like they're just happening randomly.
It just gives up.
Yeah, and the game just hard crashes to the dashboard, completely shuts down, and then has to completely reload and relaunch.
Where it bit me in the ass was when I was trying to recruit a construction worker, and this person's mission had like 2 or 3 different steps to it, and I got through 2 of them, and then on the 3rd one I was hacking into a Clan Kelly hideout, but it turns out I was a little too close to the entrance, and as I was trying to defuse, I think it was a car bomb I was trying to defuse remotely, I just somehow what's the AI's name? Bagley. He's like, oh, I don't think the client will like that very much. And then it was like, mission failed. And I was like, what just happened? And it turns out they discovered me because I was hanging outside of the facility. They shot me, blew my cover. And then I just lost all of that progress. And now the construction worker doesn't like DedSec. And now I don't know what my next step needs to be. I guess it would be to go talk to him again. But I already recruited another one, so get fucked. But at the same time, I was like, oh, shit, like, I can't reload this and try it again. Because especially when it comes to, like, stealth missions or whatnot, like, I'm someone who needs a little assistance with that. But it sounds like, yeah, fuck up and you're just fucked.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Yeah, so far that is exactly what the case is.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
I'll be careful. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, I think what the overall impression I've had, and I've put about 20 plus hours into the game at this point, and I've cleared 6 of the 9 boroughs, and not knowing, because it's a little bit hard to tell. Again, this is a classic Ubisoft problem where the game doesn't really communicate to the player when you should stop doing side content and you should focus on the main path, because you're really...
What if it pulls a Days Gone and it's like, surprise, here's a whole other part of this map?
Oh my God. I mean, who knows? They might. That I went back to the main story because I'd not been ignoring the main story, but I was, it really bothers me when I see people getting beat up on the street for nothing. And so in order to get Albion's presence lowered, you have to clear the boroughs. And so I focused on doing that so I could then walk around and shop in peace and not have to like rescue people constantly. And then I got back to the main story, and they tried to tutorialize how to use uniforms after I'd been playing the game for about 20 hours. And I'm like, why is the game doing this now?
Because it's assuming that you are going through the main story until a certain point, which is why I did go through it actually. When I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like fucking follow the story because I assume they're gonna want to teach me a lot of shit at like over the course of this narrative path. Maybe that's all the narrative path is. Maybe it's just teaching you how to play the game. Who can say? Yeah. But like, given what happened with me in Ghost of Tsushima, I was like, I'm not making this mistake again where I couldn't assassinate anybody for like 5 hours and I just didn't know what to do.
Fair.
Like, no. I'm going to go through until it feels like they're done teaching me shit.
Yeah. I just like
smart.
It just feels like a really fun open world game that easily could have come out 7-8 years ago at the beginning of the generation, and that's kind of a bummer, but it's still fun, so that's the thing, is like, do you want to spend your $60-$70 on Watch Dogs Legion knowing that you have this cool unique mechanic of being able to recruit all different kinds of people that really help dictate what kind of play style you want for each mission, on the caveat that the gameplay itself is really not that innovative.
For me, I'm like, the gameplay is solid enough, and I haven't played a game like this in a long enough time. I also never played any of the prior Watch Dogs. So to me, it feels new. And I'm like, oh, okay, neat. Yeah, I've always saw this on the preview events that I've been to and played those, but I never actually really dived into any of them. So I am looking forward to spending more time with this game. And I also think, yes, I mean, yeah, it loses a little bit of points for generacy, but like, also who cares kind of at the same time?
No, I mean... 100%. Like, it either matters to you or it doesn't.
Yeah, but I also would say, for me, I am looking forward to continuing on this more than I would be to if it were even Assassin's Creed. And that's actually not a knock on Assassin's Creed. I think the Assassin's Creed stories are more interesting. However, again, from there, I'm like, I insta look at the maps and I'm like, no, I can't do this. Like, I just cannot. So when I was looking at the map of London, I was like, I can do this. This feels doable. Great. Finally, an open world game that doesn't make me want to kill myself. This is amazing. Like,
No, I'm with you, Cyber. I'm totally with you. I also haven't played a game like this in a while. So for that reason, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I'm excited to spend more time here. Like, it's gorgeous to look at. Like Andrea mentioned, the draw distance on it's really good. It's like, oh, wow, like, this just looks really fun. And the city is alive and it's so much a character in itself that it's exciting to just be in that world. But, you know, there's some certain games coming up that I'm very, very, very excited about that I'll absolutely prioritize over this. But that said, like, I would like to come back to this someday or sometime. But it's like, when? I don't know. I think Ree put it best when she was previewing it. She said, I think this is a game that I'll play, like, a good amount of, but I don't know if it's a game I'll finish.
Sure.
Do you know what
I think
average
that's fair.
game... Do you know what the average gameplay is for the runtime for this?
I do not.
I don't know if
I'm
they've mentioned
planning
that.
on finishing the story campaign, so I can let you know, because I have no desire to go collect all of the different things. Like, there's a lot of narrative world building items that you can collect data points, like audio files and text files.
I only
and
do
all
that if
stuff.
it's within my line
There.
of sight, and then otherwise I don't care.
Yeah, and there's, like, you know, the masks that you wear are collectible, so I've been going for
Those
a couple
have
of
been
those.
fun.
I found this really fun, like, black and gold pig mask, which is really great.
I have a robot cardboard mask that I
Nice.
really like, and I was like, oh my god, I love it. Yeah,
I like a
do
Roman
find, like,
helmet.
there's just little, like, really fun elements to this game. Style is one of them, which I think we should talk about now.
Yes, go for it, Steimer.
Oh no, I was going to talk about. I was going to kick it over to you because you've been doing more shopping than I have. I've been window shopping a lot because I don't have any
Same.
money.
We don't
right
have
now.
any money.
Yeah,
We're poor.
I've bought a lot of stuff so far. So I had mentioned the shopping in my preview about how excited I was that there's just so many diverse styles, and there's whole shopping malls that you can go to in this game, and it
Regent
makes me
Street.
so excited. Yeah. Wait, which one did you go to?
Oh, Regent Street.
Regent Street? I didn't go to that one. There's one in Camden. I went to the one by Piccadilly Circus. But there's whole areas that are like real shopping malls that exist in actual London that they have recreated in the game. And so when you go there, there's like 8, 9, sometimes even up to 10 different stalls that you can go to and buy different styles of clothing. And I love that. I love, obviously everybody who watches me stream knows that I love doing fashion shows.
Yes.
And I love the customization, and I love that it feels like not only does your team of operatives feel unique to you because you've recruited them and then gone on their missions, but now you get to kind of dress them up the way you want them to as well, which was super fun. And there's such a diverse offering of humans out there, skin tones, hair, facial hair, ages, body types. There's a whole bunch of different types of representation, which I think is really great. I heard some other outlets complaining about the way the hair is animated, and I was like, are we really doing this? Like, no, like animating hair is incredibly difficult, and so far I feel like the only game that's done it wildly successful is Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah,
They take their hair very seriously.
They have to.
But when you're doing something so unique, the way that they're generating these NPCs in the world, of course they're not going to look perfect.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not docking them points on that. Of all the things to nitpick in this game, the way the hair is animated is not it for me. But I love that the style feels unique and that you can really lean into, do I want to be flamboyant and wear sparkles? Do I want to wear all sports gear? Do I want to wear all business suits and leather shoes?
I also think it's fun to try. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
But to try and keep their personality flowing through fashion, even as you upgrade it. So I got a hacker girl. I was like, okay, I'm kind of feeling your style, but I don't want you to wear this thing. I want you to wear this other version of it, and give you an evolution here. And I've that's how I've been
you gave her a
people.
glow up.
I did. I gave her a little bit of a glow up. I was like, no more kilt. Here's some fancy cool pants.
No more kills.
But that's part of what I've been. I mean, it's not the best way to play this game, so I wouldn't recommend it. But I saw a dude walking down the street in a green suit, and I was like, yes, putting you on my list of people to go get, because I think
your outfit.
your style, your sense of style is awesome, and I would like to be friends with you.
So I have a question. I have a construction worker who has really bad fashion. Can I buy him clothes, or will he lose his outfit? Okay.
No, because the construction outfit is a selectable item on the wheel, the weapon and gadget wheel. So when you hold up on the D-pad, the wheel will come up, and then you'll be able to select their outfit, and that you can put on before you go into a construction site. So of course there's a couple of different people that have specialty uniforms. And that's also where you can select the different guns you want to use.
Got it.
You can carry 2 different types of weapons. Or if you have a character that has a specialty weapon, like the beekeeper has a specialty gun that she can shoot the swarms of bees that you send after people and make them explode.
Oh my
in
god!
a non-lethal
You're
attack.
gonna tell me later where to get this girl.
Okay, I'll have to look up which borough it is. I think it's on the eastern part of the map. But if you hover over the boroughs, it'll show you what operative is the reward.
Oh, okay.
And I have found that the reward operatives are way more powerful than just recruiting people on the street. So that's also a motivation for me to go clear out the boroughs right away. Is that I could have recruited a random drone operator, which BT dubs the drone operator that you get from the recruitment mission, also very OP. And mine was this really cool girl. But the game incentivizes you or pushes you to recruit people by showing like a little green dot over specific NPCs in the world to be like, hey, you don't have a medic yet. Why don't you go recruit that hospital worker? Because they can then, reduce your injury time. Or you don't have a government worker yet. They'll be able to reduce your team's arrest time or whatever. But they only usually have 1 or 2 stat buffs, whereas the operatives that you get from the borough missions have like 3 or 4 stat buffs.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, because I've just been like wandering around recruiting people because I thought that was the best way to do it. Good.
I mean, it is for specific types of characters, and it also always comes back to play style, right? Like, what are the types of operatives that you enjoy playing with?
OPS,
like,
fuck.
Are you more sneaky? Are you more action focused? Do you want? Because they have one of the operatives that you can get from a borough mission is a footballer. Is
nice.
a footballer fan.
Oh.
And it's like a frenzied footballer fan who has a stat that says that they are a tough drunk, so they have higher melee resistance, and they can call in their footballer fan friends.
Oh, amazing.
In combat, and I feel like that's like the quintessential operative for you.
That sounds
That's
fun.
perfect. No, that's awesome. Good to know. Speaking of funny like traits characters have, I always think it's funny when I find someone I want to recruit, but then they have the doomed attribute.
Yes! Doomed!
Wait, I haven't seen that yet. What is
It means spontaneous death. It will suffer a spontaneous death.
What?
And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not
That's
recruiting you then.
horrible. Oh my god, would they just have an aneurysm or something?
I have
know.
no idea because I haven't recruited one of them either. I guess this is a perfect time to say I'm not playing with permadeath on.
Good point.
So that is a
same.
difficulty mode where you can play with permadeath. So if you lose an operative in a firefight, they will just be gone permanently. And I was like, no, thank you. I don't want to invest a bunch of time
And
into
clothing.
a character. Exactly. Only to have them die permanently. I'm not a glutton for punishment that way.
No, I've never been one of those people. I'm like, no, that's
No.
too much stress.
No, thank you. But I mean, overall, I'm having fun with the game. I think they're doing some really cool, exciting things. I just, wish that they had maybe pushed themselves from a gameplay innovation perspective and not put all of their eggs of the innovation basket when it came to their NPC algorithm generator.
That's literally what they did.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, we're not gonna really we're gonna do nothing else except really try and make the system, because I mean, I'll be honest, the system is ambitious, so I don't fault them for being. I don't know if this game would have ever come out if they had tried to do that and then also some other things on top of it. It would be next gen only for sure. I'll say that. But yeah, so I don't necessarily fault them for it, but I don't know if it was necessarily the correct move. It just feels like maybe ambition for ambition's sake.
Yes. Yeah. That was my big takeaway from the preview events too, that it was like, should they have gone in and edited this a little bit? Maybe. But
Perhaps, but
I am
still solid.
I am still hopeful that maybe the story takes like a twist or a turn that I don't see coming, but I feel like this story arc is going to play out exactly how you could probably predict it to.
I also don't know. I will be curious to see, but my prediction is no, it will be what you expect.
Yeah.
But I hope it's not.
Yeah. Brittany, any final thoughts?
No, like I said, I haven't only done one main mission, so I still have no idea where this could go or what it's going to be about. I mean, I have a general idea. Usually bad guys get the boot in the end. Hoo-hoo.
Yes.
Hoo-hoo.
We
Yeah,
will win.
but
DedSec will prevail.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We
to
will
keep
liberate
playing,
London
but-
town.
I do think one of the funnier elements is the fact that you can have DedSec on your bags and stuff, like the logo,
Oh.
because at some point during the main story, they basically say Albion can kill you if they think you're part of DedSec. So just having that on your messenger bag seems like a bad move.
I'm DedSec.
Hello, please kill me. Thanks.
But fashion.
But it's so cute. This bag's adorable.
I mean, they did a really good job animating the bags, okay?
The bags are cute. I actually kind of feel like, so here are the things that they really invested in. They really invested in this automated, like this generation tool for all the characters. And then they also really invested in their fashion. They really should make a Watch Dogs merch line that is not everything, because I think that would be a little much.
Too many things.
But a curated collection of the clothes from the game in real life, I think would be very cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would be all
absolutely.
about that. I mean, Ubisoft games have always had historically really well done art, from environmental art to character art. I love the textures on the clothing, which is something you don't always get in games, and I can't wait to see what this game looks like on the next gen consoles.
Me too. I'm also excited because I feel like the loading won't be as bad.
Yes. It is a solid minute or so.
Yeah, it takes a bit.
It's a lot of assets loading in.
Yeah.
Lots of pixels and polygons and stuff.
There's also the funnier part to me. It's not funny at all. I don't know why I prefaced it with that. But so what I've been doing, because I hate driving in video games in general, and as we've mentioned, driving can be very precarious if you accidentally hit somebody or whatever. So I just been turning it on auto drive, which thank God it has an auto drive. The other benefit to this having an auto drive is it takes forever. So you can go do your laundry, you can brush your teeth, you can wash your face, you can put on a face mask, you do the dishes. I did a lot of those things while I was waiting for it to take me to where I needed to go. Because it stops at every traffic light.
They follow the law.
It follows the law to a fucking T. And it goes the speed limit.
I tried it. I ran out of patience in 2 seconds.
But that's why you have to leave.
Slow. It's so slow.
I literally was like, so if you ever feel like you want to go get a tea or something, that's when you put on auto drive and you walk away and you're just like, I'm not even looking at you. I'm gonna go do some errands in my house.
It's hilarious.
The stoplights are in real time. I waited so long. I counted because they have a little clock in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, they do.
I was like, how many real-world seconds is a Watch Dogs minute? And it's 5. 5 seconds of real time is a minute in the game. And I was waiting for multiple in-game minutes for these stoplights, because sometimes I would get into a situation where I was on a mission or something and I was like, okay, I could go around these people, but I'm definitely going to either bang into one of these cars or hit somebody on the sidewalk, because the pedestrians throw themselves into the street if they see
Wouldn't
driving
you if you lived there?
Yeah, I get scared, so I throw myself into oncoming traffic.
You know what?
It's so weird.
Why not? Life's
yeah.
not very good here.
The auto drive is a feature that you can take advantage of. But
yes.
Obviously, if you guys are interested, check it out for yourself. The game is out now. If you're listening to the podcast, it is officially available on PS4, Xbox One, Xbox One X and S, and PC. And Ubisoft Connect has officially launched with Watch Dogs Legion, which I'm very excited about because I want to take my progress to the new consoles and check it out. But thanks again to Ubisoft for providing us code for checking it out, and hope you guys enjoyed this segment. And that's going to do it for our show for this week. I know at the top of at the end of the last segment, I had mentioned we were going to talk about a couple other games, but we decided to hold that stuff for next week, and we'll have additional coverage for you on some other games we haven't yet talked about that we can't talk about yet on next week's episode, and we're very excited about. So hopefully you guys have a good weekend planned, and happy Halloween, everybody. Bye.